Hi, this is Margaret Motherall in Philadelphia. It's March, I think 2012. I think the time changes tonight, so it's around the 9th or so. I'm going to continue talking about what's happened to me in the last 6 years regarding Philadelphia's problem with being honest and doing good building projects and being considerate and safe and legal towards regular citizens. There's this one politician named Adam Lang. I think he's a Republican, and he's always running for something. He's running for something right now. And once I made a list of things that, like a checklist for safety around building projects. And of course, anything I ever wrote was maligned, or I was told to be in a mental institution, or the latest thing, of course, is that I should be raped by that quotes from Mr. Bobhead. However, I had this list of safety measures, and Adam Lang, the Republican politician, said, well, I have the quote somewhere, it's on my blog, but on my website, but he said, this, in my hardening opinion, this is why ordinary people should not be involved in, I think he called it a, project funded by city money. So anyway, it just really showed the disdain that, a lot of politicians have towards people. And certainly, saying that they should be raped shows more than disdain. Actually, my ideas were pretty good. Okay. So I want to go back to a piece of this project that is very telling. In 2003, there was an article that in 2003 there was a project that was built and abandoned on East Penn Street in Germantown, which is the neighborhood south of Mount Airy. And the article said that the contractor's name was Thomas Berrien. And basically he partially built the project, and it said that he mismanaged the money and there were arguments and so forth. So the project was just abandoned, and I think they've done something with it since then. But that was in 2003. And then in 2006, at the February 15th zoning meeting, where I sent my attorney, Alan Knockamson, to represent me to make a complaint that the demolition was cracking my house. Thomas Berrien was there with the ward leader, Vernon Price, who lives around the corner from me and also used to own the house that I live in, my house. And, well, the word was that he owned it with several people. It was some kind of business deal. So we got the ward leader involved in business deals, real estate deals. Who knows about the ethics of that? But there he is, sitting with Thomas Berrien, who is going to be the contractor for this project, which Vernon Price is representing. Vernon Price, also stood in front of the Planning Commission to have this project passed with Derek Green. Derek Green is currently the zoning head of East Mount Airy Neighbors. Derek Green is being groomed for city council, is what I've been told. Derek Green and Vernon Price are also, according to Seth Williams, like pretty much his best friends. One evening, Seth Williams, who is the district attorney of Philadelphia, was having sort of a celebration party because he had been elected or was starting his campaign, I don't remember which, to become the district attorney of Philadelphia. So I decided to go to this party, and it was supposedly in what had been the office headquarters for Obama's campaign during the Obama campaign, and of course Philadelphia was very pro-Obama, and Obama really courts Philadelphia because it's full of Democrats, and it can help really take the state of Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania. So Seth Williams appeared to be very proud to have his little party at the office where, the Obama campaign was run in Philadelphia. I believe Seth Williams has probably had his picture taken with Obama, and of course Mayor Nutter has. Obama, not long ago, came to this neighborhood of the Northwest for a big fundraiser, and the Northwest, where my house is, there's a lot of powerful politics here. I don't know exactly why, but I guess there's enough powerful politics here that the ward leader can choose to take a contractor who wrecked and mismanaged, or some people say stole, the money from the East Penn Street project, which was probably a lot of the projects are they get money from federal funding, which is your money, which is all of America's tax money. So we would hope that the city of Philadelphia would be responsible in choosing good contractors and making sure that projects were done properly, legally, efficiently, and that the money was not mismanaged and the projects were not abandoned. However, politics as they are in Philadelphia, the ward leader, Vernon Price, did choose to have this contractor who wrecked one project in 2003 to sit with him in 2006 to go ahead and do the project next to my house. So I don't know. I mean, all the politicians and developers and everybody like that has like a stake in this is really mad at me. And one of the reasons that they're mad at me is because sometimes I call them stupid. I'm sorry, but I mean, what is it? You know, like why did the ward leader, Vernon Price, choose a contractor who wrecked housing developments and messed up the money? Why? I don't know, but he did. That's what he chose to do. Or somebody chose to do. And then, you know, a few years into this project, which was supposed to take 9 months, you know, and I would have said, well, a year, okay, I would understand, even a year and 14 months, like, I understand, you know, things don't always go on schedule, but this is 6 years later. I'm 6 years later now, okay? And I mean, a few months ago, they were pulling up really big trucks and saying that they were doing a whole bunch of stuff all over again. So, I mean, a lot of things have been built in this community since this project started. I mean, huge train station projects, the main boulevard project, you know. And they all had newspaper time, plenty of newspaper time, plenty of meetings, etc. A lot of consideration. I mean, if there's like a pothole in this community, they have like a lot of meetings about it, and then like it gets a lot of newspaper time. But this project next to my house, which has had like felonies committed on it, because if you release hazmat, that's a health hazard, and you do it knowingly, which of course they knew it because I was in the hospital and the doctor said remove me, and you know, they know the laws if they bother to read their own regulations, and they just kept doing it for years and years and years and years, you know, causing hazmat situations with all manner of things. So, a few years into the project, I had tried to move back into the house, and the dust was just flying. It was really thick. I mean, you could just watch it pile up on the windshields of the cars, and you would not be able to drive out and see anything through your windshield. Okay, it was that kind of explosion of dust happened quite frequently. In fact, the city planner, Richard Redding, we were friends for a while, and he loaned me his car in the summer of 2007. It was a old black Toyota he had for a little short time. And when he came to get it, the dust was flying in the air and just piling up on his car. And, you know, it happened a lot. Neighbors would come out with buckets of water and throw it over their cars. So the dust was flying, and of course, you know, my house is the closest, so, and I had gotten such an onslaught that as typical with being overloaded by hazmat or chemicals. You get hypersensitive to it. And it was just intolerable. I'd have to go to the hospital and get a nebulizer treatment. But then if I drove back and just walked in my house, I would need another treatment just from being in the dust for a few moments. So I called Dan Murnoff, who was at that time president of East Mount Airy Neighbors. And he had enough experience and knowledge that he immediately said, this is illegal, and that he was a witness, and that he would get me an attorney, and that he would call Irv Ackelsberg. Well, okay, that was cool. I thought I was going to get some help. And then, of course, Dan went back to he was kind of new to his position with East Mount Airy Neighbors. I think he was kind of new to Philadelphia. And I guess he found out about all the political connections to this problem. So he disappeared. Like, he didn't help me at all. And he lied in the newspaper. There was a newspaper article where he said that I was the only one that complained about the dust, which wasn't true, because one of my neighbors read that, and then she called me and said that she had called or sent him a note. Because I went around to the neighbors and asked them to get a hold of him. But even so, I mean, if one person gets run over by a truck, I mean, does it not matter? Essentially he was saying, like, oh, you're the only one that's getting sick here. Well, my house was the closest by far than anybody. Nobody else was in my position, and I got the brunt of everything, and probably saved other people from a lot of it because it hit me first. And but essentially he was saying that it was okay. It was okay for me to get hurt if I was the only one that was getting hurt. I don't know where the logic behind that is. I don't think any of, well-thinking person would think that it's okay to hurt one person. It's only necessary to follow the law if a whole bunch of people are getting hurt. But trust me, if the people up in Chestnut Hill had this situation, even if one of them had this situation, it would have been taken care of properly right away. The deliberate prejudice against me has been consistent throughout. Okay, I'm going to end there because I think my delivery for dinner is here. Okay. All right. Thank you.